Opinions expressed on this TV program by the hosts, guests, and callers are solely their opinions and responsibility. They do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Hot 7 TV or its affiliates.
Good night, St. Lucia. Good night to all of you in the diaspora and all around St. Lucia. Now, let me just get to things in its right order, or in their right order. Because every week I get bombarded with WhatsApp messages and emails and people accosting me in the streets of Castries and wherever I go to, saying that I do not shout out the area. So, good night to all of you in the diaspora, as I say. Good night to you in Babono, in Grosley, in Atlanta, Georgia, New York City, in the 5 boroughs, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, London, England. Ardent fans over there. What's it, folks? 1 o'clock in the morning over there, midnight, and they're listening, they're watching. South Africa, we have a regular viewer in South Africa. Vieux, Pierrot, Angers, Tirocher, Bruceville, Labrie, Floravilla, Canaries, Ancillary, Denry, George Cooper Road, Tupatu. Good night to you all. Well, jumping right into the scheme of things, and we're going to get your participation tonight, even more so because some really interesting issues that need to be discussed. And of course, the big news of the week, well, the big news from Sunday night, was the address to the nation by Prime Minister Alan Chastanet. New Year greetings. And I must say, folks, and you have to agree with me, that Prime Minister Alan Chastanet was keeping it real on Sunday night. I think he watches the show. Any opportunity that he gets, you know, he travels around a bit, he has all of those meetings, but any free chance, any opportunity, he's watching the show. I know. Yeah, that's right. So tonight, I'm going to give it to you bit by bit. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet's address, his New Year's address to the nation. But before we get to that, of course, folks, you know, I have to, massage. We have to deal with the other issues, of course. And last week, for those of you who were here, and that should be all of you, and if you weren't here and you haven't watched the replay, shame on you. Go watch it. It's online. It's on the Keeping It Real Facebook page. Go watch it. Hey, wore my special bow tie tonight, just for you. Yeah, you like that color? Let me know. Email address is keepingitreal@info.lc. You gotta participate, be a part. This internet age and multimedia and everything, you all become a part of it. Let me know what you think about the jacket, what you think about the bow tie, that sort of thing. Feedback is important. So anyway, jumping right into the scheme of things. Last week, of course, I had to deal with Jimmy Fletcher with that certainly not one of a kind for him, retractions, if you will, or regrets. He regrets that he supported CIP. I just want you to put that up there again, guys. Put it up again. That newspaper clip. Front page on The Voice. Former Senator and Minister of Government regrets supporting CIP. But I don't know. I don't know, folks. What is it with Jimmy? Because previously last year, somebody says they love the jacket. Thank you very much. Love the jacket. Another one. Made a good choice tonight. But anyway, who vexed losing? I don't care if you all, my fans like the shirt. They like the bow tie. They love the jacket. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Hey, my phone's blowing off the hook here. Nice outfit. All the way from where? Trinidad. So, moving on. Jimmy Fletcher regrets having supported CIP. He quotes Ralph Gonsalves. But Ralph said all of those things before, you know. But I want to give you something to ponder, folks. Because right here, with my analysis of the paralysis, I get you to think about the issues. But last year, Jimmy wrote again about, it seems like we're giving up all our prime agricultural lands to commercial activities and in cul-de-sac and wherever else. Jimmy Fletcher didn't say that he regretted when he was in government as well, that there were also agricultural lands in cul-de-sac that were converted to commercial or other purposes. Tell us about that, Jimmy. Tell us about that. But one thing that Jimmy Fletcher in his article in The Voice, or in the article about his regret in The Voice just over a week, just a little over a week ago, is that whether we get into CIP or not in St. Lucia, and I dare say that our CIP program in St. Lucia is one of the most remarkable because, listen to this, folks, one of the most remarkable because of the stringent adherence to due diligence by the government of St. Lucia and depending entirely on the reports from the due diligence companies. Listen very well. Adhering to the recommendations of the due diligence companies. But I have to tell you, folks, and you see, sometimes you need a little, a little thing, a little, wind up, a little coffee, a little something, a little keeping it real to get you back on track, make you remember. We forget too easily in St. Lucia that we are, St. Lucia, members of CSME, and guess what? Members of the OECS. And if you're a citizen of Dominica, or Antigua, or Grenada, or St. Vincent, what happens if you are a citizen of those countries, those islands? What does it say? You can travel to St. Lucia unhindered. You could stay in St. Lucia. You could buy a house in St. Lucia. You could work in St. Lucia because you have a pasaporte from those other countries. So whether St. Lucia has a CIP program or not, Jimmy, dear fellow, we are still subject to the decisions, good or bad, from the other islands in the region which have CIP programs. Say it and so. And then all the talk about, oh, we've reduced our thing, we've devalued our CIP. Betties. Because if St. Lucia had $1 million requirement, or $2 million, or $3 or $100 million requirement in our CIP program to get St. Lucian citizenship, wouldn't matter. Because if Dominica or Antigua or any of the others sold their citizenship in their CIP programs for $25, because we had ours for $1 million, you think we could stop them from coming to St. Lucia? You got your passport for $25, you can't come here? No. So why can't St. Lucia benefit financially from a CIP program? That is the question. Cancel it today. Jimmy, cancel it today. Won't we still be subject to any bad decisions that certain islands may make in their own CIP program? I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you. So what will you do then? What can we do? We cannot stop CIP citizens of other islands because they be carrying the passport of Dominica or Antigua or Grenada, wherever. So you see, what you're saying there is much ado about nothing, and it's just posturing. It doesn't change the price of cafe. Now, I have to tell you that Jufali didn't get his passport on the CIP. No, he didn't. And you have to realize, folks, that other persons, even before CIP, couldn't non-St. Lucians get citizenship in St. Lucia? And when they got their citizenship, were they of a $3 million net worth? No, they were not. Most of the people who got citizenship in St. Lucia, they buy land or came in for business and they were here for 7 years and they qualified for citizenship, or they by marriage or whatever. They didn't come in as real rich people, did they? So all that brouhaha, all the nonsense about $3 million net worth, net worth, si c'est poisson adan. I don't know what the logic is. The only logic that's coming out of that is that St. Lucia will be disadvantaged financially. That's all. Some people talking about, oh, look at this country over there, this island. I won't call any names of any place. No place that no St. Lucians were involved in plotting what happened over there, wherever. I don't know. How many they process in a year? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 passports? 4,000. We have 365 days a year. Let's just say a year has 400 days. You know what that means? How many a day? Okay. Think about due diligence. The interesting and important word to consider is due diligence. But nevertheless, you see, when we talk about this passport thing and CIP, regrets all of a sudden, Jimmy makes me remember the National Trust. Because, were you in cabinet, Jimmy, when they approved the Dolphin Park down there by Ancillary Council, Anskisaye, and Jean-Bet, or whatever it was? Were you in cabinet then? Do you regret supporting the Dolphin Park back then? Did you come out and make a mea culpa apology and say you regretted the Dolphin Park, which was supposed to have gone up at off Pigeon Point? I'm just asking the logical questions. But you see, hypocrisy again. Only when it's convenient that certain people have pangs of conscience. Like the National Trust again. I'm a St. Lucian, I can talk about it. If you don't like it, I don't care. Because what people judge you by when you want to project a certain persona, the National Trust, when you want to project a certain direction. You see, that is why people tell you the past. That's the past. Forget the past. You're always going back to the past. The past. Well, the past has relevance today. And 1 year wasted. A whole halekase, hullabaloo about some buried criminals at the Royal Jail. Royal Gold. Give me the photos of the Royal Jail that had been in disrepair, crumbling for years after everything was moved to Bordelais. Give me the next one. Galeta Plaza. Well, there's the old sign. Actually took that photo years ago for posterity. Visiting hours, 9 a.m. to 11:45. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Give me the next one. After it had been closed. Look at the place. A hazard to life and limb and animals. Look at that. Nobody cared, and they were supposed to have moved those dead bodies, well, the remains, to Bordelais. None of them did it. National Trust was not concerned. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All of a sudden now, injunction. Last year, September. What was it? The 9th of September? All of a sudden, injunction. They're concerned about bones. About the prisoners. Oh, the humanity. But lo and behold, let me get the name for you. The folks, do you know that there is a cemetery on the Mon Fortune, somewhere around by Sir Arthur, before the Enniskillen Monument, somewhere around there? I remember visiting it years ago when I attended secondary school, St. Mary's College. Field trip. Loved the idea, getting out of the classroom. But is that cemetery under the responsibility of the trust? You don't even know where it is. Have you done anything about that cemetery or anything at all? As a matter of fact, Sir Ira Simmons was buried there, but because of the dismal manner in which the trust maintained or failed to maintain that cemetery, his family, poor people, poor job, had to exhume the body and interred it at Shock Cemetery because of the later of the... Any concern for the dead persons there? But if we want to have this conscience, and those who adopted the stance of the trust and wrote all these flowery articles on social media and to eat people alive, any of them, you hear any of them talking about even today, tonight, or tomorrow, or last week, any of them talking about the despicable thing that is down there on Hospital Road? Huh? Kaya dans cemetery. Kaya dans cemetery. Houses on tombs. Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously? Seriously? Ain't nobody concerned about the bones over there? Even though it's not under the trust. I mean, where's your conscience? What's good for the goose should be good for the gander. Huh? Yeah, I mean, come on, you have to have a little consistency. Consistency. And the trust. Their baby, the first place of the trust. Pigeon Island, Pigeon Point. What happened to the cemetery over there? That's right in your backyard. In fact, it's in your old swimming pool. See anything happen to the cemetery at Pigeon Point? Most people now have even forgotten that place even exists. You see the inconsistency? You see the inconsistency? Mais rien. Rien. Folks, you know, I don't know, sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest. And it is really a sad day in St. Lucia when we have disingenuous reasons and persons trying to mama guy us with all of a sudden found concerns at the expense of development, at the expense of dealing with the issues which seriously affect us in St. Lucia. But you have these same people where the government is trying to deal with the crime situation. Oh, hold on. Don't start with that crime thing. They ban hypocrite. Play hypocrites for me. Hypocrites out there. The police in atrocious conditions. Atrocious conditions. And the government trying to do something about it. But the overriding importance for a few is bones of some criminals. When they should have seen to it that those bones were moved. They should have seen to it. You know? Fellas, tonight, don't make me come over there. Don't make me come over there. I'm on a road, it's the new year, and I buy Munkusav. Okay? But you know, the hypocrites are hiding. Are the hypocrites hiding? They hiding. Open the cupboard, let them out. Expose them. See, hypocrites hiding in the control room. In the ground. Two parts every have hypocrites in St. Lucia. Hypocrites. You know, we'll move on because I'll expose them in a while. You'll hear them. And somebody says I have an echo. So you all need to look into that. I don't know if the hypocrites inside there messing around. But anyway, I want to give you folks, because I have promised you that on every opportunity, I will update you on the situation with St. Jude's. I will update you. And somebody just messaged me there. You know, it's nice the interaction sometimes. It says the trust is more concerned about the dead bones, the bones of criminals, rather than the conditions of our living policemen. But yet still, those very same people want to cry about crime. They want to cry about the police. But they're not concerned about their conditions. You know, there has to be a trade-off somewhere. And especially when it was your responsibility, yours, Saul, to move them. And because of your negligence. And in fact, you all never placed the prisons, the royal goal on Bridge Street. Never placed it on the list of sites for the National Trust. You never requested, it was never suggested, but lo and behold, you all have this interest. Disinterest. An interest in a disinterest. Away. That's away. But let's go to the update on St. Jude's. On Friday, I was down in the south. I went to St. Jude's. So I took a few photos so you could see. Last week, I showed you that they started putting in the forms in order to start up the first floor. Let's have a look at those photos. Look at that, folks. Look at that. See the forms being put in place? Almost the entire footprint, so that they could start pouring the first floor. Next one. There you go, folks. Baie Kafet en bala. Baie Kafet. Next one. There you go, folks. See it for yourself. See it for yourself. And there's the final one, as you can see. By today, I am quite certain that much more work has been done there at the construction site of St. Jude's. And I'm challenging you again, Philip J. Pierre. You wrote, you called, you requested, you talked about it, you went on the media, you called press conference. I don't know, maybe you even jump and dance around a fire. I don't know what you did. But you certainly made a lot of noise about wanting to go to St. Jude. Go down there now. Because I highly doubt that any photo you could take will be any different to what's there. In fact, if you go down tomorrow, your photos could be more up to date than mine. I mean, you've been lagging behind, you've been following in the footsteps of Fortuna Belrose for the longest while. It's catch up. You know, it's almost like you're trying a one-upmanship thing. Fortuna Fesa, ou ka try fe même baila. She gone to St. Jude's ou vle ale la tou. Not my fault. I just call it like I see it. You can catch up. But anyway, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to Prime Minister Alan Chastain's. But hold on. Oh, horsey. Where the horse? Give me the horse, man. Come on. Putting pressure. I didn't ask them for the horse tonight, but, you know. Non cheval setli, see? I made this decision trying to buy a horse. That's true? Patrick. Seems I'll have to invest some money in that. I don't have any money, but I'll try something. Fella, huh? But anyway. You know, I lost my train of thought right there, you know. So many things flashing before me there, and these guys running, trying to catch the horse on the side there. I can see them in my peripheral vision, but they haven't caught it yet. And another person says that there is an echo. But you know, folks, it's interesting times we live in. Interesting times. We'll take that break and I'll come back. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Avoid the congestion and traffic associated with Castries City and Rodney Bay shopping and come to Glenwood's Mall. We have everything you'd possibly want, from a sprawling supermarket to a complete furniture store, from your choice of elegant boutiques to professional photography, dry cleaning, a hardware store, medical facilities, drugstores, hair and beauty salons, an island center, and so much more. We truly do have it all, along with a food court which provides sumptuous meals and free Wi-Fi while you dine. Parking is plentiful and shopping times most convenient. Come to Glenwood's Mall. We're the mall that started it all.
Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, nestled within Coco Palm, a boutique hotel in the heart of entertainment capital Rodney Bay, offers a truly unique experience with the best food, drinks, and music. Open 7 a.m. to 12 midnight. Daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tibanan specializes in authentic French Caribbean cuisine, delectable tropical cocktails, and the best live entertainment on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tibanan also offers catering for weddings, special occasions, and conferences. For reservations, call 456-2800 or email reservations@coco-resorts.com. Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, where passion meets quality.
St. Lucians, we're a unique and proud people. It's for this reason Hot 7 TV presents C'est quoi ça nous y? That's who we are. Hot 7 exclusive program which gives insight into the ordinary yet inspirational people of St. Lucia. Passion, creativity, and the entrepreneurial spirit is what makes us who we are. C'est quoi ça nous y? That's who we are. 8 p.m. Mondays with a repeat broadcast Sundays at 3 p.m. on Hot 7 TV. Channel 117 on Flow and Plug and Play Channel 7.
Seven is #1 for news. Join lovely St. Amy Joseph for the Hot 7 nightly newscast, weekdays at 7 p.m. Gripping stories that define us as a people, personal achievements that make us proud, touching moments that draw us together. Get it all on the Hot 7 nightly news with the lovely St. Amy Joseph at 7 o'clock on Channel 7 over the air and Channel 117 on Flow. We own 7.
Folks, welcome back from our quick break. So we'll roll into Prime Minister Alan Chastain's, what's the word I want to use here? What's the word? Ite tell ma boss bunla. I'm at pains, I find it difficult to get the right word to describe that. It was revealing. It was over the top. It was stupendous. Folks, Prime Minister Alan Shastri on Sunday night was keeping it real. And there's been a lot of criticism from the opposition. Lots. Incessant criticism from June the 6th, 2016. And I think that address to the nation on Sunday night will go down as one of the best New Year's addresses to the nation, to St. Lucia. Absolutely. Many of the questions which the opposition continued to ask ad nauseum, even in the face of responses in Parliament, in the face of responses on social media, in the face of responses in the news, at press conferences, continue to pretend and bury their heads in the sand as if nothing was happening in St. Lucia. Oh, we know that's nonsense. Come on. Oh, yes. Somebody just flashed my memory. You know, folks, who vex lose? Thank you, Mr. P. You know who you are. Who vex lose? And as most of you know, I keeps it real. I keeps it real. And those of you who know me, no, I don't put water in my mouth to say what I have to say. You say what you have to say to me too, I ain't vex. But let me tell you something. Where are the journalists in St. Lucia? Apart from the few that there are. The others masquerading as journalists. The so-called journalists who describe themselves and others as political actors. Now, we all watch CNN, folks. Let's keep it real. Keep it here with me. Okay? We all watch CNN. We watch Al Jazeera. Oh, we certainly did a few weeks ago. We watch MSNBC. No, presque tout le monde ni cable. Zot ni internet, si zot pan internet, zot ni cable. If you all don't have internet and you don't have cable, you hear stories from people that go to the States. They come back and tell you. Those of you that don't have visa, people come back and tell you. Okay? But you're telling me, and I've had this discussion, it wasn't much of a discussion, it was disgust, that every Tuesday, they're exposing yourselves. Hypocrites. You have the hypocrites? You find them? Find the hypocrites in the control room. Last week Tuesday, the Tuesday before that, I do my research, I come here with the evidence, I present to you the documents. Not one of those so-called journalists out there will go tackle or ask questions to the persons who feature on the show here. I don't care who you support. I don't care what you think about me. You're gonna pay the price someday.
Hypocrite, stinking hypocrite, gonna pay the price someday.
Yeah. Yeah. None of you go ask any questions. SLP will say X, They run to the UWP. SLP say X. UWP respond, they run back to SLP. UWP say that. SLP is a back and forth, cafe moon deck. It is your job, it is your responsibility. And it is your responsibility again to know the history of the politics in St. Lucia, to know the history of St. Lucia. Genti bouk, genti fi, ki pa même connaître qui sa ki fait 10 l'année passée. Yo vle bay opinion, yo pa connaître rien. Journalists reporting. Like they say in the police force, all they want is cooked case, a cooked case. Everything, all the evidence, everything ready, just put it on TV. Somebody say X, they're not going down into the history, they're not going to check, they're not analyzing, no analysis of the paralysis, just a back and forth, no reasoning. Oh yeah. That is why people will tell you, and say it and so. People tell you, man, I don't watch the news, it's Papi Show. Why you think it's Papi Show? Because you all a Papi Show. Zotsa two faces of blame, I don't care. Papi Show. Once in a while you get a story. But by and large, what you listen to? What you listen to? The Prime Minister's speech on Sunday night. Has there been any analysis of it? Anybody? Oh, hey, it's too good? Too revealing? It's too promising? It's being supported by too many facts that you can't analyze it for the country because there's good news in it? Anyway, enough of that. Y'all should be ashamed. Play hypocrites again for them. Hypocrites. Let it sink in. Y'all tired of bluffing the people of St. Lucia, so-called journalists.
All of you hypocrites, you're gonna pay the price someday. Hypocrite, stinking hypocrite.
Okay, cut. Why do you think, folks, just answer this question for me. It's a rhetorical question. You don't need to message, you don't need to email, nothing. Just answer this to yourself. Why do you think after so many decades, the BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, Radio Deutsche Welle, all of these stations that we grew up with international, why these publications like the New York Times, like The Economist, and so many others, the Washington Post, why do you think they're still around and they have such reputation? Reuters, why do you think so? Why? And here in St. Lucia, we have them a dime a dozen, switching every 2 years, every week, every month. The 2x2, they like the waves of the sea, washing up all over the place, and then you hear nothing. Why is it that names like Winston Hinkson continue to resonate when it comes to journalism or radio in St. Lucia? Why? Margaret Robert Steele. Huh? Why? Maybe there's too much political acting and not enough journalism. But anyway, we're going to go straight to Prime Minister Alan Chastain's address to the nation for the new year, 2020. And I'll break it down. We'll have a little discussion. You know, my thoughts, quick thoughts. For those of you who didn't watch it or didn't get the opportunity to, and some of you who don't get on the internet, I'll give you that opportunity again tonight because I think it was a monumental speech. It had much promise and much information for St. Lucia and answered many questions about where St. Lucia is going with regard to all aspects of St. Lucian life. Culture, security, everything. Education, sports. Let's go to Prime Minister Alan Chastain. Roll it.
Good evening, fellow St. Lucians at home and abroad. Happy New Year to you all. I pray that 2020 will bring you good health, peace, happiness, and prosperity. I thank you all for the spirit of giving and love which flowed throughout our island in December. It was a joy for my family and I to share in the festivities, especially my constituency of Micoud South. St. Lucia, 2019 was a year of continuing on our journey to bring empowerment to all people and to build a new St. Lucia. Recall that on assuming office in 2016 and on other occasions thereafter, I indicated that our government would need about 3 years before we'd really start seeing tangible results. Our task was not easy. In fact, what we found was rather daunting. Unemployment was at an alarming high of 25%. Our country had gone through 5 years of zero or negative growth. We were facing crippling levels of debt, and there was severe deterioration in our physical infrastructure, social services, particularly in health, education, and in community services. Most of our institutions, economic and social sectors, were either in disarray or dysfunctional, from the police to the judiciary, from agriculture to education. Many projects that should have been completed by the former government, such as the 2 hospitals, the desilting of the John Compton Dam, all critical projects, had either not started or were far from complete. In short, the fiscal and economic situation was dire, and there was a general sense of hopelessness all over this country. This is the backdrop against which my party was elected. Immediately, our team of workers rolled up our sleeves and got down to the business of turning this situation around. There is little question that the visible improvements in the economy and the new direction has restored our country's hope and confidence. Our policies are working, and we are moving in the right direction. One of our first actions was to fulfill our general election promise to ease the burdens on the entire population. We immediately implemented the 5 to Stay Alive. We reduced the 15% VAT. We put a freeze on property taxes. We introduced an amnesty on hospital bills. We reduced the vehicle license cost. We doubled the allocations for school feeding and transportation programs. Other measures included doubling the budgetary allocation for agriculture, addressing deficiencies in the security and justice system, starting the phased transition to the OKEU hospital. We've spent millions on improving the infrastructure in almost every constituency, creating economic benefits and employment. And things such as roads, community centers, sports facilities, primary health care services. We've improved the water supply systems in the north and the south. Today, 3.5 years in our administration, St. Lucians can see and feel the positive signs that we are moving in the right direction. The most recent IMF assessment on St. Lucia described our growth prospects in the near term as favorable and projected that the commencement of our eminent infrastructural projects will substantially boost growth in 2020 to 2022 period. Unemployment, which was at 25% when we came in, has been reduced to 17% according to the most recent reports from the Statistics Department, and we anticipate a further reduction this year. The undisputed fact is that our economy has recorded growth in every single year since we took office.
I think that was self-explanatory. What the government found when it got into office. And one of the biggest campaign promises, 5, to stay alive. But, you know, as I said to you earlier, I will refer outside of this Prime Minister's address and quote other persons because it's pertinent. Because what he said to the people of St. Lucia directly relates to what others have said about what this government is doing. So I'll go to a statement made Philip J. Pierre in 2013, thereabouts. Let's go to the first one. Let's hear Philip J. Pierre.
We complain, bagay wed is better days. But my brothers and sisters, the days could not be better than they are now. These days could not be better. You know why these days could not be better? Because we live in a world of trouble. We live in a world of economic hardship.
Yeah, live in a world of trouble, we live in a world of economic hardship. Philip J. Pierre, 2013, the world financial crisis, 2007, 2008, even if you want to say two, ça a passé longtemps. Mais bagay wed set ici, Philip J. Pierre is relating it all. No responsibility in St. Lucia by him, the deputy, what? Deputy Prime Minister qui sa ite, idi mundite, or the Prime Minister, or the government. Nothing. Nada. But he said that, but a few moments later, let's hear what he says.
But my brothers and sisters, the days could not be better than they are now. These days could not be better. If you have $5, you can buy a meal for your family in St. Lucia on $5. It may not have all the vitamins that you may have, but you can block a hole.
You heard that? $5 could block a hole. Remember that, of course. Things could not be better. Baite pui. They were stuck in neutral or in park. Things could not be better. So after he has said that things bad because of the rest of the world, he's saying, well, it's not so bad because $5 can block a hole. It can block a hole. Remember that? So let's hear. Now that's Philip J. Pierre. What deputy prime minister or whatever? So let's hear what the prime minister at the time had to say about the economy and tut bagay when they had promised jobs and better days tut bagay. Let's hear what Dr. Kenny Anthony had to say.
But something happened. Something happened that made the situation different. And it is the first time St. Lucia has experienced this. This time around, we could not borrow to finance the deficit. That is the crux of it. Last year, and this is where the crux of the problem is, we wanted to issue bonds of $266.5 million. But we actually were able to raise only $45.5 million.
That's a significant difference.
In other words, we were not able to raise $221 million. Likewise, we wanted to raise short-term loans of $38.9 million, but we were only able to raise $29.3 million. Again, a shortfall of $9.6 million. So what has happened here is that we cannot turn to borrowing to fix up our deficit because banks, individuals, and institutions who used to lend before are no longer lending governments. They're insisting that they will lend you if you get your financial house in order. And in our case, getting our financial house in order means that we have to bring down fiscal deficit from where it is at 5.8% below 4%. That's the key.
No money, cannot lend, no loans, your credit bad. I don't know if that's what I have to do for people to understand, or for those guys to understand. Dr. Kenny Anthony is saying it there. Philip J. Pierre is saying what's happening in the world. But Kenny Anthony is talking about our financial fiscal situation. Why? You think maybe poor financial management? Poor management of the economy? Do you think so? What could it be? Because at some point you have to take responsibility for what's happening in the country. But you know, they criticize 5 to say, oh, that's puppy show, that's flashing mirrors and smoke on the mama guy and you're bluffing the people. Look at it there. 5 to stay alive. Keep it up. Keep it up. 5 to stay alive. This was the government's promise, and immediately, not immediately like 5 years before that, you know, where 100 million will be injected immediately into the economy. Or there's so many other immediatelys that had a different meaning to immediately. Could take that down now. So I have some figures for you folks. Let me go quickly through this. License fees. The savings to the people of St. Lucia, to the drivers, approximately $1.6 million. 1.6 million. Told you they would be reduced. License fees, vehicle registration, whatever. $1.2 million. That is equal to, according to Philip JP's mathematics, of $5 can block a hole, the blocking of 320,000 holes. 320,000 holes. May say, me buy, me Tuki Boucher, Philip JP maths, PJ maths, PJP maths. Let's go to the other figures there. 5 to stay alive. What it left in St. Lucia's pockets and how many holes it blocked. Right? Waiver on outstanding medical bills. Now, folks, because of the system of records and everything with the government and the hospital, well, with the hospital, it's not as computerized or as accurate. But over the years, I'm sure, I'm not going to suggest anything. I'm going to ask you the question. What do you think the medical bills were to the government from Victoria Hospital or wherever else? You think it was $100, $1,000, $5,000, $100,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million? How many? The government waived all of those. Isn't that money in St. Lucian's pockets? Isn't that one less headache that you have to worry about? Next, property taxes. 3 years. Homeowners, no property tax. Give you a break. Fix your house. Do something. Was that not done? Was there not a waiver of medical bills? Tell me. Was there not a reduction in license fees? Tell me. So property taxes, that amounts to, folks, let me give you the figure. And just to let you know, the government has extended this for another year. Has amounted to, on average, $6 million a year left in the pockets of homeowners. You know what that works out to be? How many holes that blocks? 1.2 million holes, according to PJP maths. PJP maths, 6 million blocks, 1.2 million holes. Reduction of VAT from 15% to 12.5%, and I'll tell you something about that in a second. About 30 million a year. You know how many holes that can block? According to PJP maths, 2019 edition, 6 million holes. Can block 6 million holes. But you see, according to Dr. Kenny Anthony, they could not get loans. They couldn't raise the money. So the only thing was to do what? Footage of VAT. And the talk all over the place was that VAT, if they had gotten back into office, would have gone up to 17% because they could not run their partisan law. Let's go. Next one, Alan Chastney. New Year's address.
We're excited about the airport redevelopment project. Our first FBO private jet facility is now operational, and the rebuilding of St. Jude's Hospital continues at a rapid pace. The Pearl of the Caribbean project had quite an auspicious start on National Day with our island's first international horse racing event, which attracted media, investors, and visitors from all over the world, and has created an unprecedented buzz about St. Lucia regionally and internationally. The public showed their overwhelming support for the project by coming out in spectacular fashion for this day at the races. Attendance was in excess of 7,500. Many had flown in from New York, Toronto, London, all over the Caribbean region to participate in the rebirth of the South. The next race is scheduled for mid-February, just in time for our 41st independence anniversary. Does anyone remember the 1970s when Vieux Fort was humming with industrial and manufacturing activity? It started with an event on May 1st, 1970 that was billed as D-Day. D for development when Hewanorra International Airport was commissioned, House and Days Hotel was opened, as was Windward Island Packaging Company, Hewanorra. United Workers' Party's plan back then was to make Vieux Fort the industrial capital of St. Lucia, creating an industrial estate that attracted a host of manufacturers. Apart from Hewanorra, Windward and Leeward Brewery came, along with some unforgettable names like Milton Bradley, Carman, Manumatics, Marston Mills. For nearly 2 decades, Vieux Fort was booming, providing jobs for people not only from the town, but from Labrie, Soufriere, Choiseul, and Micoud. Many businesses in Castries opened branches in Vieux Fort. Regrettably, under the Labour Party, much of what was achieved during that time has been lost.
Was lost. But let's keep going, folks. Let's hear about what's coming for the South and the projects, and let's go. Roll it.
Salvation is coming to the South. Added to the Pearl of the Caribbean project, we have the airport, the cruise ship terminal, the redevelopment of Anse de Salle, and the Canals project. The free zone at Hewanorra, that was underperforming when we came into office, is now 100% filled, and more importantly, we have a waiting list. We've also invested significant resources in Soufriere, another town where there had been widespread neglect. We opened the Hummingbird Beach Park, upgraded and redesigned the Soufriere Town Square, developed the Old Trafford playing field, and converted it into a farmer's market and a bus terminal, upgraded the Sulphur Springs Park, and began work on 2 new sporting facilities. Roads are being attended to, new hospital is being built, and Soufriere has become the poster child for village tourism. Similar programs are being implemented in Anse-Lorraine and in Groslay, and eventually rolled out island-wide. To the north, we're making changes in Castries, which includes the Market Redevelopment Project. The old structure had for years been the target of criticism and ridicule, mainly because it failed to offer proper shelter and conveniences to vendors and to the general public. The newly built market is hurricane resistant and enables the free flow of goods and people. The goal here is to make the Castries market one of the best, if not the best attraction for locals and visitors, a permanent home for authentic local arts and crafts, as well as agro-processing products. Our vendors must proudly sell what is ours, or, as some people may say, c'est ça nous.
C'est ça nous. Oui, patois, eh? Iba o patois la, o pa habitué. But I think what the Prime Minister said here was very clear, was articulate. Anyone can understand what is being said. It's simple English that any 5th grader can understand. But you know, the wonders of the internet and modern technology. I got more than one message here as this segment was being played. A news report about this very same New Year's address, and Kenny Anthony, Dr. Kenny Anthony, is saying that he is not impressed. The Prime Minister is delusional. Dr. Kenny Anthony, with all due respect, I think you're delusional. And talks about, he says the Prime Minister talks about visible improvements in the economy. Ask the people of Vieux Fort. Ask them. Ask the people who work in at DSH, at the racetrack. Ask the people who are going to be working at the Luzon Hotel, University Hotel, that's going to be built down there. Ask them. Ask all the people who got the big checks in Vieux Fort. You know who I'm talking about. With all the work that was done at the DSH racetrack. Madeo. The Prime Minister is delusional. You're delusional. You saw the video of yourself a while ago. You just said why St. Lucia could not borrow. And the reason and what was stated to you that had to be done was that you had to get your fiscal house in order. Who was in charge of the fiscal house? Dr. Kenny Anthony? Was it Botabot? Who was it? Hello? Hello? Dr. Anthony? Seems I'll have to invite you on the show again. Who was in charge of St. Lucia's fiscal house? Who was trying to raise bonds of $200 and something million, could only got 40 something million? Who? I mean, the audacity of some of the, I mean, the blatant, the gall to just try to totally ignore the reality. Like they're on another planet. Time tunnel. Takes me back to the early 70s. Time tunnel. Lost in space. No clue. That's what's going on there. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what you're doing. Masav, I'm like the tree on the square. Masav, I don't know. I mean, come on. And you're talking about the percentage was projected at whatever. It went down to 1% or less. But that's better than you. I mean, under the previous administration, I thought I was in Canada. Everything was going down. The economy was going up below zero. I said that in St. Lucia we're going to be getting winter jackets pretty soon because everything was below zero at all. What was the economy doing? Was it in positive growth? Or was it in decline, negative growth? Not even declining from 10 or 9 or 5 or 3, going down 1 to a positive number, you know. Zot en bad law. En bad law. That's why all these social programs to try to make people think they had a real job that they couldn't go to the bank with. Taking loans to do that. Oh yeah. No benefit. No benefit. But you have a problem with what's happening inside. I mean, this is a waste of time. Let's go on with the Prime Minister. Totally different, totally outclassed. Anu.
We continue to grow as a country. We're addressing our road infrastructure with an island-wide road rehabilitation program. The upgrading of feeder roads, the rehabilitation of the West Coast Highway, and building on the East Coast Highway to more easily connect the north to the south, and thereby address the traffic congestion in the Gros-Islet Highway. The financing of these projects is being provided by the Taiwanese and the CDB and other development agencies with the loans supported by the fuel and airport tax. Some of you have already seen the results with which the work in Cassenbach Road in Gros-Islet, the Forestier Road, the Timon Road in Union, the Salterbush Road in Choiseul, the Bel Air Road in Castries Southeast. Work is eminent for the road in Dennery Village, Blasha, Spring Roads in Micoud South, and the new development roads in Soufrière, just to name a few. The Ministry of Infrastructure's rehabilitation program will cost EC $110 million, the Millennium Highway and West Coast Road $130 million, the Cul-de-sac Bridge $30 million, the Shock Bridge $22 million, and the feeder roads $50 million. Nearly $350 million in total, making this the largest such investment in St. Lucia's history.
You heard the difference? You had the opportunity to do all of that. You know, I just don't understand this, folks. Here we have a prime minister and a government which is making tangible, remarkable turnarounds for St. Lucia. In everything you can think of. Remarkable turnarounds. But yet still, you have failures. I can't say anything else. The record, you know, it seems like that's why some people don't want to refer to the past. Don't go to the past. Don't talk about the past. Don't go to the past. That's the past, man. That's the past. But the past is what got us to where we are today. The past is what got us to where we are today. With the economy. With the poorly maintained schools. Oh, don't talk about the roads. Oh, about Shimela. Did you do that? What happened to the roads? What happened to the dam? Did y'all open St. Jude's? I'm just asking for, well, I'm just asking. I'm asking for myself and the Keeping It Real crew. Did y'all open OKU? I mean, the fast! I mean, you have a ceremony. How much did it cost? $100,000? To drink champagne? A whole big to-do on the 21st of February 2016. Just a bala. Whole big naming ceremony. EFAP, Yo pon like la, yo fe me encore. The big mama guy, the big Lubowski, what was it? What? I don't know for you, I'm trying to figure it out. Where's the logics? 100 thou down the drain. Opening ceremony. Well, naming ceremony. Tout moun, docteur, nurse, Dr. King, tout moun, vidan se, yo fe skit, yo fe tout kalte bagay. Ek le yo fini, ale la kaizot. The roaches and the mice went back to play at KEU. I don't know. Isam se kakakal baski an tet sent. Listen alo. I mean, this is like some cruel joke. I mean, you have people who failed at so many things. But now you have another government that the people of St. Lucia said, we have confidence in you to deliver on these things. But the same guys who failed, the brain boxes, are the ones who want to dictate to the government how to do it right. You don't see this is a joke? This is a farce? According, hold on folks, to this Spanish friend of mine who was trying to speak Patois, he said, si menos buenos. Si menos buenos. Let's go to the next one with the Prime Minister.
Addressing the needs of our education system has been multifaceted. We simultaneously have been tackling aging infrastructure, outdated curriculums, and the lack of innovation. To date, we've already spent $25 million to address deteriorating school infrastructure, which is in stark contrast to the $5 million spent by the Labour Party in 5 years. We've finally put doors on some classrooms where they never existed, repaired leaking roofs, fixed hazardous electrical and plumbing problems which had been festering for decades. The list goes on, but we will get it done, as we've allocated another $10 million for school repairs in 2020-2021. This month, we begin construction work on 3 primary schools under the Education Quality Improvement Program, EQUIP. These schools are Laguerre Combined, Gordon Walcott Memorial Methodist, and the Vide Bouteille Primary. In modernizing and innovating our schools, we've already started teaching computer encoding and robotics. Our next exciting venture is the introduction of ebooks, a pilot project for Form 3s. Unlike with the previous administration, the new program will be supported by downloadable lessons, infographics, and internet links. This will significantly reduce the cost of books for parents. We wish to say a special thanks to the Republic of China Taiwan for their commitment towards ICT and the education over the next 3-year period. We're grateful to our diplomatic partners who continue and in some cases have increased scholarships for St. Lucians to study abroad. These opportunities are even more accessible if we as St. Lucians become multilingual. We're excited about the appointments of a new principal at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, Dr. Keith Nurse, who is recognized as one of the experts on creative and orange economy. And we're looking forward to diversifying the programs offered at Sir Arthur Lewis College, which will include converting Radio St. Lucia into a recording studio to enhance St. Lucia's expertise in the field of broadcasting and music production.
Self-explanatory again. Very articulate, very clearly laid out on the government's plans, and lots of our young people now, you know, the Dennery segment folks, the Vieux, where you guys get a name like that? Old Kitchen. Vieux in. Okay, what's wrong with my people? What's going on? Vieux in. Well, it's sticking. Our beats are all over the world. Hey guys, don't forget, I met you all the other day, you know, just saying. So we're going to skip forward a little bit because I want to get some calls. We're going to skip forward a little bit and go to 1745. Let's go to that.
We cannot and will not deny that the crime situation continues to affect us deeply. We feel it every time a young person loses their life through violence. It not only impacts their families, but we also lose what they may have contributed to the development of our society. We cannot look at the crime situation without doing serious reflection about the way we lead our daily lives, raise our children, our interactions, the way we resolve conflict, and how impulsive we may be to react or get retribution. We must continuously work on this as a society, even as the government implements measures to help prevent, detect, and solve crime. Internally, we've started a process of measuring the results on a weekly basis. While we have not achieved the kind of success we would all want, we know that the effort we are making will begin to pay off. Remain committed to the multi-pronged strategy to significantly reduce crime. We've already embarked on the following: empowering and modernizing our police force with communication equipment, vehicles, including motorcycles. We now have 95 CCTV cameras feeds in strategic areas, and in 2020, we will mount 525 additional camera feeds from Castries to Gros Islet. We have recruited over 80 new officers, with targeted patrols already resulting in a drop in assaults. We reopened the forensic lab. We started with 12 city police and are now up to 42. We restored the operations of our Coast Guard vessels and radar systems, which had been dysfunctional. The Director of Public Prosecution has received increased resources for his office. We facilitated the strengthening of the judiciary with more magistrates and judges. And despite attempts to derail plans to build a new police headquarters, we will move forward with the new structure at the old prison site in the first quarter of 2020. Simultaneously, we are working towards tackling crime at its root with social programs such as the Youth Empowerment Project, which focuses on mitigating risk factors that trigger criminal and antisocial behaviors. There will be a special emphasis on young men, vulnerable groups, especially children, at-risk youth, and women in target communities. We also have after-school programs intended to keep our kids meaningfully engaged. In 2019, we increased the number of social workers and revised our incarceration and rehabilitation policies as part of the crime-fighting strategy. In the next few weeks, we will be making an announcement about impending changes to intend to accelerate the measures to bring crime under control and to strengthen the police force.
Folks, it has been said over and over again, and the Prime Minister has stated very clearly what was the police force and our judicial system on coming into office after elections in 2016. I think every St. Lucian knows about the status of the DPP, none, about the staffing at the DPP's office, about the non-working radar, condition of police vehicles, motorcycles, the police boats, non-functional. What has happened? It's not going to be fixed overnight, but very, very big strides have been made in working progressively and in the right direction to deal with the situation of law enforcement and our judicial system in St. Lucia. We'll speed ahead to the end of this. I will make this speech, although it's available elsewhere, but I will put it out on the page on Keeping It Real on Facebook, and I will send it out to those of you out there who could share it as well. Let's go to the final segment of the Prime Minister's address.
I must take a moment to assure St. Lucians that despite the empty accusations and the spreading of false news that seems to pervade our society of late, our government remains committed to good governance and transparency. In April of 2017, we illustrated this by passing a landmark amendment to the Crown Proceedings Act, which was a recommendation of the 2009 Ramshaw-Hoy Commission of Inquiry. The amendment allows for the recovery of public funds not to be statute-bound. It is worth noting that during the particular sitting of Parliament, the opposition chose not to remain in the House and to discuss this critical matter. Be also assured that the announced investigations into matters related to public projects and secret agreements are ongoing, and I will provide the necessary updates in due course. Our government believes that all public officials should give full accounts of their stewardship and be willing to engage the public. Hence, we've been very active spreading factual government information via the bi-weekly publication, Our St. Lucia, our regular pre-cabinet engagements with the press, regular appearances on talk shows, and via the national television network, which has recently launched a series of new engaging programming featuring interviews with government ministers and officials. You can also find out what is happening on my own schedule via the Prime Minister's weekly diary, which is posted on my Facebook and Instagram pages. During the past year, we celebrated our 40th independence anniversary with a range of successful activities. There truly is a sense of national pride beginning to re-emerge in our country. It is the hope of our government that we will continue to build on this and come together, united in a common purpose and empowering ourselves in developing our country by taking advantage of the opportunities being created. I wish to thank the members of my cabinet for their continued hard work, knowing that there is still so much we have to do to keep St. Lucia on this upward path. I also want to thank my wife, Raquel, my family, my support staff at the Office of the Prime Minister, and, very importantly, my constituents in Micoud South. All of them for their continued support and participation in helping in their own way to push this country forward. My fellow St. Lucians, I know you feel that our country is on the move. You feel that St. Lucia is beginning to rise once more. As a leader and a nation unafraid to take bold choices, I know you feel the growing buzz in our country and that the region and the world is keeping an eye on us. We must not get distracted. We must remain inspired by St. Lucia we love. We know and we can feel. Now is the time. Let's do this together. May God bless you all, and may God bless our beloved St. Lucia.
Well, folks, there you have it. I don't think it could have been said any better than that. But I know many of you dying to call in tonight. Maybe we'll take another extra hour. What do you say? We got an hour, guys? So let's go to a quick break and we come right back. Calls 450-0777. 450-0777, or you can email info@keepingitreal.lc. Make it quick, guys.
Avoid the congestion and traffic associated with Castries City and Rodney shopping and come to Glenwood's Mall. We have everything you'd possibly want, from a sprawling supermarket to a complete furniture store, from your choice of elegant boutiques, professional photography, dry cleaning, a hardware store, medical facilities, drugstores, hair and beauty salons, an eyewear center, and so much more. We truly do have it all. Along with a food court, which provides sumptuous meals and free Wi-Fi while you dine. Parking is plentiful and shopping times most convenient. Come to Glenwood's Mall. We're the mall that started it all.
Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, nestled within Coco Palm, a boutique hotel in the heart of entertainment capital Rodney Bay, offers a truly unique experience with the best food, drinks, and music. Open 7 a.m. to 12 midnight daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tibanan specializes in authentic French Caribbean cuisine, delectable tropical cocktails, and the best live entertainment on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tibanan also offers catering for weddings, special occasions, and conferences. For reservations, call 456-2800 or email reservations@coco-resorts.com. Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, where passion meets quality.
Well, thank you for staying with us, folks, here on Keeping It Real tonight. A lot of action. If you missed it, you're going to have to check the replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on Hot 7 TV, or you could check it out online on the Keeping It Real Facebook page. Lines are open, 450-07777. That's right. Give us your thoughts, impressions of the Prime Minister's address to the nation. New Year's message delivered last Sunday, 12th of January 2020. 2020, the year of implementation. Now is the time, according to Prime Minister Alan Chasney. 450-0777, or you can email me right here, right now, info@keepingitreal.lc. And I have an email here. Oh, what happened here? Good evening, Norbert. We love the lilac-colored suit. We are watching the show now, and sometimes they're asking for mugs. There aren't too many left, folks. There aren't too many left. I gave somebody got 2 of them yesterday. You have to talk to me about those 2 mugs. Yeah, you know who you are. Showman, I have a mug for you. You know the deal. Give me a shout. 450-0777. Give me a call quick. Time is running out. Guys, get the approval for that extra hour? Not yet. No approval yet, folks. So, let me go back a little bit here in Prime Minister Alan Chasney's address to the nation. And I want to get to a section that we didn't play. And let me get it here for you folks. Let me get it here. He was talking about healthcare. But you know about healthcare, folks. We've heard the stories. We know what's coming. And one of the things that Prime Minister Alan Chasney has been saying. We have a call? Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good evening, man. What's happening?
Good evening, sir. How are you? Thanks for calling. Let's go.
I got a question to ask you.
What's the question?
Are those journalists on the SLP payroll or what?
I don't know. I don't know.
Come across that way to me.
Maybe you could ask your buddy Timothy. Ask your buddy Timothy if he has the inside scoop, if he has some information.
No,
or maybe you could get the number of some of the political actors and ask them.
That's how they come across to me, man.
But you know what, caller? You know, there's this little adage, you know, by their fruits you shall know them. It's not what you say, well, in this case, what you do is what they say. So you can tell very easily. It's very difficult to mask that.
For instance, Prime Minister Shasney spoke to the nation on Sunday. You heard none of them.
Something as monumental as this speech, which has so much promise, which has so many projects for St. Lucia, so much employment that is going to come out of that, so many positive things for St. Lucia. Thank you very much for calling, caller. Thanks for I got to take some other calls. Okay, thank you very much. Folks, like I say, by their fruits you shall know them. Very easy to tell. And the people of St. Lucia are not hoodwinked or mama guide anymore. The nonsense, the propaganda, the lies, the subtle ro-ro, you know, the ro-ro aspect of it, or the blatant twisting of stories, regardless of what the story is, they twist it to something else. Nothing wrong in telling the truth. The truth shall set you free. The truth shall. We have a call? Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night.
Hey, good night, Norbert.
Yes, sir. Good night. How are you?
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Not too bad.
Go ahead with your point.
Every single thing you said there was well said.
Anything jumps out at you? Caller, don't listen to your. You see, you have some feedback. You're trying to make me deaf in one ear. You don't need to listen to your TV or device. Okay, we lost that call there. When you call, you need to turn down the volume of your TV, your computer, your phone, whatever you're listening on. Okay? So I was saying, folks, let us wait to see. Again, I'm putting the challenge out there, not just to report, run it and say the Prime Minister addressed and he spoke about XYZ. Go down into it, dig into it. You know, is it true? Take it section by, it's easy to read, you know. Easy to read. Section by section. Is what he's saying about healthcare substantiated by the facts? But you know, you all have been given all of these facts throughout the year. Is what he's saying about the police forces substantiated by facts? Because it's very easy to verify. Very easy. If the Prime Minister said the police boats were not working, and the opposition say, that's not true, just go and ask the Commissioner. That's all you have to do. Or ask the Commandant of the Marine Unit. That's all you have to do. Have you heard any single person? By the way, good night to the policemen. Hey guys, Happy New Year to all of you. You're doing some good work. Keep it up. But have you heard anyone in the media, folks? SLP say, no, that's not true. The boats were working, that's not true. Anybody gone to the Commission and asked him whether to verify that? When boats needed to be maintained and whether they were maintained or not? Anybody at all? You don't have to be a brain box to figure that out. I don't recall anybody asking the Commissioner about that. Anybody ask about the radar that was not working? That's not true. They said, that's not true. That's not true. Anybody ask the Commissioner for a statement? Anyone in the force? Nada. Nada. Talk about everything else. Nobody has gone to the discerning or definitive source to get conclusive information. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? So you're left to ask yourself, what is the motive behind such inefficiency? What is the motive behind such, what is the word? Flagrant disregard for proper journalism. Papi show. Papi show. Papi show. In St. Lucia, you know, crooks. All sorts of people want to ask people and tell them how they've been corrupt and want to report. Volley! Who the cap fit, let them wear it. And if you're a volley and they ain't catch you yet, you know it's you too. I mean, sometimes you listen to the foolishness that goes on in this place. You just want to cry. What passes for any modicum of professionalism in journalism in St. Lucia? But we go back to the PM's speech, to his address to the nation. As I've said, I will put it out there. I will put it on the Keeping It Real Facebook page. I will also send it out to those of you out there on WhatsApp with whom I'm in touch with. Do you have a call there? Not yet. Yeah, keep talking. That's what they say. Keep talking. I know you're saying that there. When we finish here, I hope I get some chicken. Yes, folks. So, but I think it was a rather comprehensive address to the nation. The Prime Minister was very clear. He was unambiguous. And he touched on every single facet of St. Lucian life that questions by the people of St. Lucia, by the electorate. You tell me about seconds, I say I want another hour. Folks, we have one more minute. The guy's looking at you just laughing inside of there. They want to go home. But anyway, I hope that I've been able to expose you a bit more with a bit more in-depth, allowing you another opportunity to listen to the Prime Minister's New Year's address. You got some of the points. Prime Minister's internet Facebook page has all of the information. You can watch the NTN site online or on the Facebook page or on the Government of St. Lucia page. You could watch PM's address again. I think this will go down as one of the most important addresses because Prime Minister Alan Chasney said and continued to say since elections that it would take 3 years to get St. Lucia to this point where we're about to take off with the cruise ship port in Vieux, the redevelopment, a new terminal, Hewanorra International Airport, the horse racetrack, the development in the south. Employment numbers are going down from 25% overall to 17% and expected to go down significantly this year. The coming of national health insurance, I think, is one of the most significant developments in the history of St. Lucia. Lots more to come this year. Pay attention, pay tune, be a discerning listener to the news and the information coming out there. That's it for tonight, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Those of you in the diaspora and those of you all around St. Lucia. Let's keep it real. If it's Tuesday night, it's keeping it real. Norbert Williams. Good night.
The opinions expressed on this TV program by the hosts, guests, and callers are solely their opinions and responsibility. They do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Hot 7 TV or its affiliates.
Thank you for making Hot FM the #1 radio station in St. Lucia.
We are different. We are #1. Hot FM.
The survey is out. We want to thank you for making us the people's choice as we distance ourselves from the competition.
We dominate with 75% market share.
Thank you, St. Lucia! And the rest of the Caribbean!
St. Lucians, we're a unique and proud people. It's for this reason Hot 7 TV presents C'est quoi ça nous y est? That's who we are. Hot 7 exclusive program which gives insight into the ordinary yet inspirational people of St. Lucia. Passion, creativity, and the entrepreneurial spirit is what makes us who we are. C'est quoi ça nous y est? That's who we are. 8 p.m. Mondays with a repeat broadcast Sundays at 3 p.m. Only on Hot 7 TV. Channel 117 on Flow and Plug and Play Channel 7.
The Hot Seat is now too hot to premiere on the weekend. That's why from now on,